All right, so for our final demo, we've got Dustin Freeman, and he has a background in theater and map. And so, of course, with that background, he decided to go into game design, because that seemed like a good combination of the two. And he'll be showing Tweetris, which was shown at Nuit-Blanche this year. It was a favorite there, and we'll get to hear a little bit about it. It's kind of like Tetris and Hole in the Wall if they kind of had a night in a sleepy motel. So I'm going to leave it to Dustin. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm really glad to be here. I'm really glad to be at Gamercamp. I saw it last year, and I'm excited to be an official part of it this year. So this is a Connect project. So this thing happened about a year ago, and it changed a lot of how we think about interfaces. The most exciting part of the Connect has been kind of the Connect hacks. We have a wide variety. This is just me searching Connect hacks in Google. We have a wide variety of like Minority Report interfaces. We literally have a picture of Tom Cruise. We have something that's vaguely pornish in the upper right, and we have some hardware hacking going on the bottom. And so, in terms of the on the kind of high-end side, I was involved in a project at Microsoft called Connect Fusion. Trying to open now. I'll show you a bit of it.
Yeah, we showed the part we used it to approximate the circuit and see to enable real-time physics simulation.
So what we did is we had the Connect scan a 3D representation of the world, and we put physics simulations in it. And here I am with a sheet getting it covered in virtual balls and pulling it away. And obviously I'm enjoying here on myself, on my face, so I'm enjoying it. Here's my arm coming into frame, and you can see it's able to track my arm as a solid body independent of the background. And here's me jumping onto a chair. And if you look at the axes right there, the X, Y, Z, it's tracking my solid body. And they also explore 3D. So, I mean, the point of this video that I showed is that Connect is a wonderful, wonderful thing that's changing a lot of how we think about interfaces. It's freeing us up significantly, and we haven't figured out quite how to use it yet. Okay. Here's one of the initial offering of games that came to Connect. They're all arguably kind of in the casual genre. They don't have a very high learning curve. It's kind of the similar criticism that people gave the Wii initially. It's initially fun, but you can't go like a lot of places with it. One thing that I recently discovered was Fruit Ninja, which is a Connect game where you can slice fruit with your hands, which I found to be awesome, and I actually found to be quite difficult, and I found myself steadily getting better, and I imagine I could get much, much better. But this is a problem because what I've done is I've taken this full body motion of mine, and I've limited it down to this. Now maybe I have two of these, I have two cursors, but I'm still just moving 2 points in space around, when the input should be my body. Right? So there's this wonderful quote by a guy named Bill Buxton, who was one of the first guys to invent the idea of multi-touch back in 1985, actually in Toronto. And he said, everything is best for something and worse for something else. So the Connect isn't going to replace all gaming, nor should we be expected to. But it should enable types of gaming that we haven't seen before. But I feel like we haven't figured out what that is yet. So, I mean, what is the Connect good at? What I observed that the Connect is good at is that this is a valid form of input. This is meaningful. Well, it might be meaningful, but at least the Connect can detect it, and we can possibly ascribe meaning to it. So, over the summer, I'm at the University of Toronto. Some people at OCAD and the University of Toronto did something for Scotiabank Nuit-Blanche. Here are all the people involved. There's a ton of people. It was kind of, for a while, it was an art by committee thing. But we had two major inspirations that I'm going to talk about today. The first was, how can playing with the Connect be hardcore? how can I move beyond this kind of casual, oh look how fun this is to express myself with my body. The second inspiration is hole in the wall. Now, how many people have seen hole in the wall? Okay. So I just grabbed some pictures online because it's awesome. I just want to look at them with you guys. So I don't know what the guy in the middle's going to do. Especially because his legs are significantly shorter than... Well, so we were inspired by, how can we make something actually hard with the Kinect, but meaningfully hard? How can we make it about body expression? And hole in the wall is cool, let's do something with that. And so we came up with something we call Tweetris, which is a combination of Tetris, yoga, and Twitter. And so, for Tetris, we wanted to have people make these shapes. So here's kind of one of our early mock-ups that we emailed around to communicate the idea to people. Like, we could have people make Tetris shapes. And then, when people successfully make a shape, we could upload that to Twitter. And here's the Tweetris Twitter stream after Nuit-Blanche. And it says stuff like, oh no, I bet you didn't want to drill. Can you handle a box, complete a row with a hat, and drill, box, hat, and night are names you came up for the Tetris pieces. And if you were to click on each of these Twitter pictures, or TwitPics, they would be pictures of people doing things like this. And then you could log into our website and play a Tetris game with the pictures of people that had made shapes during the event. So I believe over the course of the event we had around 4,000 shapes that were made, 4,000 shapes that were contributed to the cause. You can see here someone who's made a box. Some of these are a little bit manual. Here's another guy who made a box. And so the way it worked is we would actually have two people simultaneously doing it, so they'd be side by side, and they'd be shown the same shape, and whoever made the shape fastest would get their picture uploaded. So you kind of were competing for fame to appear in this game that you could play. We had this game playing at a central location, and you also could log into it through your phone. And so one other awesome part of this is that it was out on Parkdale in a van. We were part of this large art project where I guess there were 16 vans. It's called Leitmotiv. I don't know how the hell this happened, but we were in a van. Just as an aside, if you can get your game into Nuit-Blanche somehow, or on a route for Nuit-Blanche, it's the best way to get as many playtesters as possible who are willing to try stuff. There's a chance they might be drunk, but they'll be so willing to try stuff, and you'll get 4,000. We literally got 4,000 pictures of people. And so here's what it looks like from inside the van. There's two people who are trying to make the less squiggly shape using a few different strategies. It looks like the lady on the left is kind of crushed into the floor. I think the guy on the right has had a little more practice, so he's a little bit more refined in his technique. Here's a video from 4 a.m. This was, I think we closed up a little bit. We observed that people really, really enjoyed, playing with their bodies and becoming self-aware of how their bodies appeared to the game. We have, like I said, we have about 4,000 pictures of people making weird shapes. I wish I had actually prepared some to show you, but in most of them, people are smiling. You can see lots and lots of teeth. So we got a cool observation out of this design, this first iteration of Tweetris. that we made a game with two kinds of player involvement. There's, on the left we have, being involved with your body. On the right we have, when you're playing Tetris, you are doing kind of this hardcore fine motor control activity that doesn't involve moving your entire body. And so we're like, okay, that's kind of cool. Now, for our game, they aren't really, for our first iteration of Tweetris, they weren't really, connected to each other. You would make you produce the shapes somewhere else, and then they appear. Well, you produce the shapes in one spot, and they'd appear somewhere else in another game, and you kind of take credit, being like, oh look, there's my shape. I contributed to the cause. But there wasn't really any back and forth. Which brings us to Tweetris 2.0, which actually has nothing to do with Twitter. And I'm going to demo this for the first time ever right now. So I'm actually going to need 4 volunteers. So just come up here. Everybody comes up here. Awesome. So can I get 2 of you guys over there? 2 guys over there, and then 2 guys right here. All right, let's set the mood with some music. So you guys are gonna have to be. There should only be one of you on each side. Hold on, I do it. Sorry, nothing tapping yet. So you want to be a little more this way.
Okay.
So you want to be only on the other side, and you want to be on that side, right? So step more towards the camera if you want. Then you can be a little bit bigger.
Okay.
So what's happening right here is this is just plain old vanilla Tetris. The guys on the side aren't contributing to the game at all. If you guys come up here, you can control the right Tetris game with the arrow keys and the left with the WASD. So we've seen stuff like this before. Like I said, right now the guys on the side have no effect in the game. They just seem to be enjoying themselves. See, isn't it great to design a game where you don't actually need to give goals? People just play. But so my first kind of attempt at bridging the gap between the two types of player involvement is to have this thing called speed match. So what happens here? Is the players? The players who are trying to match the shapes. The people who are playing Tetris can only make their shape go down faster if these guys have matched the shape successfully. So what's happening here is they can only make the piece accelerating down if the person over there is matching the shape successfully. So it's this kind of way of encouraging you to do well with your teammate, because you are on the same team and you are on the same team. Now let's try something a little different, and that's custom shapes. So what's happening here is all square.
No, just straight all the time. Just be a block. Just be a block. You guys gotta communicate to each other. Like, it looks like the left side has a problem, right? There we go. Yeah, don't move.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta move. Now, see, the thing is, right now this is way too easy because they can just cooperate with each other because they're on the same team, right?
Get on the right there.
Also, another competitive mode where you can straight line a team.
Sorry?
Straight line. So now you want to screw up the other guy by having awkward shapes. So this is speed match where you want to flip the shape so that your partner can bring the piece down as quickly as possible. Yes, the guy left has it. That's right.
Square.
There you go. There we go. Oh, and you know what? This isn't as interesting, so let's go to cooperative mode. So this is cooperative, so you want to make a useful shape for your partner.
Give me an L.
Yeah, keep at the lines. There we go. Something with a little block.
Give me the squiggly piece. That's the one, that's the one.
No, line's good.
That's good. Now I need an L. Give me an L.
Okay. Keep 2 more lines.
Other L.
That's competitive mode.
Keep doing the lines on.
Oh!
That's back to cooperative.
Oh, okay, safety. Block, square. There you go.
Block.
Straight piece.
Yeah.
Straight.
Oh, straight, quick. There we go.
The T block.
Block.
Like the hat or whatever. Yeah, that's the one.
Cool. Blocks are good. Oh, yes, we'll take a line.
Square.
Line.
Yeah. Squiggly.
And back to competitive.
Oh.
Does anyone else want to try it? Let's bring out another board. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to try it? So this is basically just my presentation. I'll ask a few questions at the end, but while these guys are playing, you can ask questions now.
All right, so thank you, Justin, for that. That looks amazingly fun. So we're actually going to bring that to George Brown College as well. So if you don't want to play in front of everyone, we're going to bring it to George Brown so you can, humiliate yourself in private, which is something that's important. All right, it's only an evening somewhere. That's a rocket. Terrible. All right. Are there any questions for Dustin? I'm sure that people are interested about asking something about the process or some evolution of the game or anything. Does anyone have a question?
Sure. Do you plan to separate the players from our team members so that they can't communicate as much?
That's kind of what we had before. Yeah. So the question was, do you plan to separate the players from the team members so they can't communicate as much?
Yeah.
So is the goal with that to make it so that it's harder to cooperate or something?
Yes, the thing is like when you're making the shape, it's really easy to just do blocks and lines.
Yeah. I think that's, so in my mind, that's like the point. Like you would never only play in co-op mode. You would like be going back and forth to do competitive co-op. So competitive is the screw-ups, is like mess the other guy up, and like the co-op is the cleanup stage. You would stop to have one mode for like a long period of time. Next.
How do we reset it?
Press yeah, there you go. Yeah?
I have a two-part question.
Sure.
Any commercial plans for it? And have you heard about the Tetris holding companies shutting everybody down against Tetris?
For the first question, not at the moment, but maybe. For the second one, oh, sorry, I should repeat them. So, part A, do you have any commercial plans? Part B, have you heard about the Tetris company shutting everyone down? Part A, these are actually very related. Part A, I have no plans at the moment. I'm basically trying to figure out if it's fun or not yet. Part B, I have heard about Tetris being owned by an odd monopoly that is like equivalent to like a patent troll kind of thing. I'm not entirely sure what the situation is. Maybe I can make a satire or something.
Let's just call this Rocket Blocks then. That's what we're doing. Not Tetris, it's Rocket Blocks. And,
next question, back there.
Did you build this using the open source version of the Kindle or the KDK, or is this built with the Microsoft one?
This is done with the Microsoft one, mostly out of convenience because I was more familiar with it. I'm not using skeletal tracking so much. You could use pure depth background subtraction if you want to. Any other questions? Yeah?
Do you have any like future plans for maybe putting it on through network? So like one person somewhere is playing one player and it'll actually make some shapes?
I think that'd be an awesome idea. Okay, yeah, sorry. Repeat the question. Do you have any plans to do it across a network so you can be making shapes of someone else somewhere else? I think that's an awesome idea. One thing I didn't implement because I did this mostly up until 5 a.m. today was I wanted to have the actual video people in the shape itself. You guys are doing too well. And so I think like that sharing that connection across the world. Yeah, so I think sharing the connection across the distance would be really awesome. So obviously, yes. Any other questions? Yeah, go ahead. I think it seems reasonable. Like, there's I think you could probably scale it based on how well you're doing so far. Oh, sorry, repeat the question. For mode changing, are you planning on having it based on a timer where it goes back and forth? And, yeah. Any other questions? Awesome.
well, I think what's great about this, and what we see with the Kinect, is that it allows us to break out of kind of the, with games, we're always imagining this world inside the screen, but here we get to use the real space as our template. I think that's what's so fun about this. I love seeing the crazy movements and the things that we normally don't do in our everyday life. People who won't dance in public will waggle in public. And we've also noticed that there's a conversation happening between the players, which is something we've noticed with Damien Summers' Friendship in Four Colors, or a lot of the other games that we've seen. There's a real world conversation that's going on, which always makes games so fascinating. So I want to thank Craig and Damien for iPilot. I want to thank Sarah, Emily, and Mare for the panel. I want to thank Dustin for this Tweetris demo. Thank you for coming out, and we'll see you at 2 p.m. at George Brown College.
You gotta do the seated, there you go. Oh boy.
Is that the guy going to be helping each other? It says co-op at the top. Or, do whatever.
But,
Suits your temperament.
Well, so who's helping who, though? Is it people out there are helping us? And
So left side helps
or
left side, right side helps right side.
Okay.
And when it's competitive, like the sides switch.
Right, okay.
So that could probably be made much clearer.
Make like the weirdest shape possible.
I mean, you're still helping each other.
Yeah, well.
You want to help.
But it's more fun.
Yeah.
Now you can screw the other person up.
I think your commentary on human nature reached its inevitable conclusion. The last moment you really donked it up.
I just do this. Single dot.
Single dot.
Cut your head off and throw it into the frame. It's great. No, those little pieces were really helpful. Oh, now it's cooperative again. This is cool. Is this your
Yeah,
creation? Yeah, sitting guy. Yes.
Good balance. Most people do it the other way.
Again?
Sorry, you know. There's two of those shapes. So there's a good chance it'll.
That's not.
Cooperative mode or?
Yep, still cooperative.
So they're normally.
Yeah, it was a really fun game. It's interesting. It's a lot harder to get your head around the competitive or the cooperative mode than it is the competitive. That's a lot easier mode to switch into. Just the jump into a crazy shape and screw people up rather than sort of having this thing that you're supposed to conform to. So I think that's an interesting outcome.
Awesome.
What I found was, well, being the operator, I guess, having the controls, I felt like I should be in charge and yelling out, make this shape, make that shape, but I'm totally not in control. I'm totally beholden to the guy in front of the Kinect, which I found was quite interesting because we didn't really cooperate at all.
The way Xbox is supposed to work is supposed to.
It would be interesting to know whether it would be different for people that knew each other versus strangers, as was the case.
Oh, you guys don't know each other?
Well, we know each other. Maybe you guys know each other.
And
Okay.
we don't know it.
Okay, but we were collaborating.
We met over a game of human Tetris.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see competitive.
Yeah. Yeah. Like some ringers.
Sponsored
Who
by
works for a circus or something. Who can
Yeah.
do the S shape on demand.
I think it'd be more interesting. I think it'd be more interesting if you can put this whole thing online, and then 4 people from around the world, and then see how each culture interacts with each other.
Yeah.
Maybe they can't even talk to each other through English.
Yeah.
Maybe some of them are Chinese and the other ones from America. So I think it's kind of cool. This project is fun.
It is actually fun.